The bank's architecture is what I would have called futuristic back when I dreamed that the future would be less squalid than the present. Story above story of curves and spires and balconies, all in gleaming metal. A doorman stands by each of the heavy glass doors. I am wearing my best clothes, but still, I feel shabby next to them. The loan broker's office is equally intimidating. Large computer monitors fill the walls with stock quotes and other information spilling down them almost too fast to read. I occasionally glimpse the names of places that I have only seen in movies. Aldebaran, Tarazed, Earth. The pen is heavy as lead, but glides almost without friction as I print my initials on the bottom of page after page of ominous legal documents and sign several dozen statements, notices, and agreements. The banker, a balding middle-aged man in a suit that I suspect costs more than the spaceship I am about to purchase, flips the pages past me quickly, uttering a curt "sign here, now here," as he points to each page. He moves swiftly, mechanically. The only moment when he becomes truly animated is when explaining the truth in lending statement to me. "You are borrowing 480,000 credits, he says, to be repaid over the course of 1 year. Your daily interest rate is 0.4%, which means that your daily payments are 2,503 credits. And by the end of the year, you'll have paid 434,000 credits in interest. Sign here," he grins. I sign my name one final time. Grayson, Baines. The elevator is so well tuned that I do not even realize it is moving until it has deposited me back in the lobby. But as I leave the bank, I am smiling. This crazy adventure suddenly feels real to me. I'm going to do it. I'm finally going to get off this damned planet. Compared to the bank, I feel much more at home in the shipyard, walking among the rusted out hulks and near ships that gleam in the sunlight. I smell grease and dirt and rocket fuel. Wonderful smells. There are 3 ship models within my price range. Which one will I choose will determine my future. Before me, I see 3 ships. A shuttle, a star barge, and a sparrow. I've been long thinking about which ship would be more fitting. Each has their own advantage and drawback. A star barge would allow me to trade larger quantities of goods, but would be quite slow, quite the vulnerable target, and have limited capacity for passengers. On the other end, we have the Sparrow, an interceptor. It would be heavily armed for a ship of its size, allow me to go and be bold, but the only means of really making money with this one would be hunting pirates. No, my mind was made up. I wanted a shuttle. It would be a good middle ground. Plenty of cargo space, plenty of room for passengers, no fighting capabilities, but quite nimble and fast. Perfect to earn back the loan I got. With a smile on my face, I approach the shipbroker and make the deal. All I have to do is give the ship a name. It will be the Baines Dawn. With some trepidation, I give the shipyard owner my money and take my ship for a test drive, piloting it out of the shipyard and onto a spare landing pad by the spaceport. Then I get out and look the ship over a bit more closely. I'm busy polishing out a few rust spots with a piece of steel wool when an old man in grease-stained coveralls walks up.
"Nothing quite like buying your very first starship,"
he says. "Yeah, I'm still kind of in shock over how much money I spent," I reply. He grins.
"I know the feeling. It's a crime how much the interest the banks charge to first-timers. It's been that way ever since when I first started out."
"You're a captain?" I ask.
"Was,"
he says.
"Sold off my fleet a few days ago and I already miss it. But it was time." Time for me to retire.
His voice trails off, then his face lights up.
Say, any chance I could take a ride with you? Maybe show you the ropes, give you some pointers? I could pay you, of course.
Sure, where are you trying to get to? I reply. Of course it would be convenient. My first real job as a spaceship captain. And, on the plus side, having a veteran show me the ropes probably would be a good idea.
Well,
He says.
I've got a spot reserved in a retirement home, but I don't mind taking the roundabout way to get there. For starters, how about you give me a lift to New Greenland? It's just one jump away from here. I can mark it on your map.
Sounds good to me,
Great.
he says.
My name is James, by the way.
Captain Grayson Baines, I introduce myself with a smile.
I'm looking forward to traveling with you, Captain Baines.
As I'm helping him wheel his luggage aboard and showing him his bunk, he says,
Before we take off, you might head on over to the trading center and stock up on medical goods. We can sell those for a good profit on New Greenland. Also make sure to visit the local outfitter. While they don't sell much here compared to on the big manufacturing world, every world with an outfitter will at least carry a map with information on the neighboring systems. Buying them can help you if you're not quite sure where you're going.
Taking heed of his advice, I walked over to the outfitter and bought myself a local map and then headed on to the trading center to fill up the cargo hold of the Baines Dawn with some medical goods. Just after plotting my course already on the ship's computer, but before taking off, I decided to take a quick look at my bank account and decided to pay off a huge chunk of the open debt, paying back 124,200 credits because I would not need as much money, but rather having to pay less in mortgages. Then, finally, after years of saving up and gathering the courage to do it, I finally took off this damned planet. Breaking atmosphere, there it was, my home, the only planet I ever knew, New Boston. Really, just a ball of dirt and dust. My past was now behind me. What was in front of me was my future among the endless sky.